This bonus episode is sponsored by Audible. In our first episode, we talked with Destin from Smarter Every Day about how podcasts and audiobooks really help you find extra time in your day to learn about the world. You can just plug in your headphones while commuting, exercising, or even driving a forklift. Seriously, somebody sent us a photo of themselves listening to the Create Unknown while operating their forklift. Thank you for that, forklift man. To help support our show and support your ears, Audible is offering a free audiobook to listeners of The Create Unknown. Just go to audibletrial.com/thecreateunknown and sign up for the free 30-day trial and download your free audiobook. No obligation whether you continue or not. That book is yours forever. I highly recommend Bill Bryson's A Short History of Nearly Everything. It's all about science and history of the world and society, and it's written in a really accessible, fascinating, conversational way. You're sure to learn a lot while on your forklift. How come eating isn't called lift forking? For good reason. So head to audibletrial.com/thecreateunknown and get your free audiobook. And be sure to use that URL. It's audibletrial.com/thecreateunknown. And you'll help out our show, and you'll help out your brain, and you'll let them know that we sent you. So free audiobook. Who doesn't love free? Free. Vsauce, Kevin here, jumping in real quick on this bonus episode. We'll have a full-length episode coming out next Thursday, but this week we landed an interview with Voiceover Pete, who is possibly the hottest creator on YouTube right now. We'll get into the details of the interview, but for those of you unfamiliar with Pete, he started as a spokesman for hire on the freelance site Fiverr. After thousands of videos and voiceover reads, the global Memeforce sprung into action, and he became pretty much the funniest thing going on on the internet right now. I love Voiceover Pete. What happened was after a few Fortnite memes where basically he acts like this spokesman for how would you describe it, Matt? It's hard to describe without actually seeing it.
He's trying to rally the community to save
John Wick.
Yeah, Save John Wick was the first, and all they have to do is provide just a few credit card details. But that was a big part of the problem. So disaster completely struck when he made this series of videos. Fiverr canceled his account, and overnight it was just income zero. And this was after quite a long series of work to build up his persona and business. But gamers and memers just completely rallied around Pete, and in a little over a week, his YouTube channel, it became 500,000. By the time this comes out, how many will it be?
I don't know. It's been a firestorm. It's been an awesome story, and it's all happened because Pete is authentic, enthusiastic. He embraces the internet culture. He just said repeatedly that he's really just having a lot of fun with this, and his story is so unique that I think that's part of the reason it's been really fun to watch. And he himself was just fun to talk to. Like, he's infectious. The guy is just awesome.
Pete he's just absolutely real. And it's so clear that he's having a great time doing this and working with a son, which he explained to us. But like you said, he just exudes joy and also professionalism. He had some really excellent nuggets of wisdom about what it's like to build an enterprise like he has built, and also what it's like to kind of look to the future in what's absolutely an uncertain kind of landscape. But it's inspiring. It really is. And when you listen to Pete, you think, don't you just want to live next to this guy? Don't you want Voiceover Pete as your neighbor?
Yeah. Or just even closer, a family member like Uncle Pete.
Uncle Voiceover Pete.
Yeah, Uncle Voiceover Pete sounds like a really weird cartoon that I would love to watch. So you're about to hear the gleeful exuberance and booming, silky voiceover voice of Voiceover Pete, as well as his incredible backstory and just current story that's unfolding as we speak. It's all happening so quickly that it was really important to us, and we're thankful to Pete for kind of putting this together so quickly, because Voiceover Pete is actually the first guest to enter the bonus Create Unknown. All right, Pete Ace, Voiceover Pete. The last week has been an absolute whirlwind for you, to say the least, where you have been promoted by PewDiePie, the largest YouTuber in the world, and Ninja, the most popular streamer in the world. So now that you are an internet titan, what has that experience been like for you?
Last week, I don't care from whose perspective, it was the perfect storm of opportunity. I mean, Fiverr released the handcuffs, and that same week I went from Monday not knowing who Ninja was. I didn't know who Cypher was. I didn't have a Discord channel, a Twitch channel, and some of these Patreon channel. Now all of a sudden I'm there. PewDiePie, as you said, not only put me in one of his reviews once, but twice in the same week. Unbelievable, blow my mind. So it's been a buckle up, put on your seatbelt kind of ride.
Well, and that's what fascinates me, and what I love about this story, about you, about your background. I mean, you come from a business world where you had a long, successful career that came to an end, and you reinvented yourself online by doing these clips for Fiverr, where people need voiceover work, and you just grinded for how long? I mean, I read 20 hours a day. I mean, even if it's half that, even if it's 10 hours a day, like how many of these clips were you doing before you turned into a meme?
Oh. You'd actually educate me in that, because I don't know when one crosses the line from, your pre-meme status to meme status. So how many did I do? I think that first one, and I don't remember his buyer name. The first one who made it go viral was Material Design, was his YouTube name. And YouTube closed down his channel, wiped all his videos. Poor guy, I feel bad for him. But that's what spread on to, everybody coming, it felt like everybody coming to me and placing an order for that whole joke, that whole meme. Of course, Fiverr, as we learned, legal does not have a sense of humor. So great. I'm unshackled. I'm unfettered from those kind of restraints. We move on and kind of face this brave new world for me. I think I'm kind of forging my own space in a space that's not had my kind of generation. Can I say that? My kind of gen really in the space and interactive. I'm not here to throw stones at anybody. I'm here to join in the game and have fun. That's it. Can we do that together?
Well, I think that's clearly why you have been so successful in this, is because you're playing along so perfectly with the joke, being part of the joke, adding to it, delivering it in such an entertaining and hilarious way. And I want to get back specifically to the joke. So the joke is that you are promoting some sort of like gamer culture thing, like Fortnite, whatever. But then what comes into play is that it actually turns out, like, ironically, to be a scam where you're asking people for their credit card number, like this secret 3 digits on the back and the expiration date. And that's the joke. So obviously Fiverr had a problem with that, because it's like, well, we don't want to be associated with soliciting what could be interpreted by some as a scam. But that's literally why it was funny, and why it is funny, and it's endlessly funny. I mean, how many have you done? And there are these meme compilations of you doing this same joke over and over and over again, and I have watched all of these, and it's still funny.
I'm complimented. I'm honored. Thank you very much. I think I was trying to add this up. I may have done around 500.
Wow.
And
wow.
again, to be really candid, it was a progression. I mean, Material Design came to me and said, "Oh, please." I checked it out. I was like, "Yeah, it's a spoof. It's not a scam. I don't want to be part of a scam. Never have, never will." So I was like, "Okay, let's go for the ride here and have a laugh or two." Little did he know, I know, it'd be the ride it is today. So that's going on, and I started at $10 for about 50 words, and when the tidal wave of orders came in, to slow it down, I raised my price as high as $50. And then I went from, a 5-day turnaround to like a 20-day turnaround. And I was cranking out somewhere between 30, 40, and 50 orders a day. And I couldn't keep up. I finally had to put on out of office just to try to run and get it down a little bit. And then on Monday morning, I turned it off. Boom. The wave of orders came in. And then suddenly the faucet was turned off.
So before, to back this up a little bit, before all the meme stuff hit, all the gamer culture hit, you churned out thousands and thousands of voiceovers. You'd built a massive presence independent.
Yes and no. I mean, I'm a B2B, right? Or like you identified correctly, I've always been business to business. I've been in several large Fortune 100 companies, always in sort of a sales and presentation role for my company that I represented. So to sidestep on when the last corporate company I was with went through a layoff, they laid off the entire US division. My son, who you've seen in the video, said, "Dad, you have a great voice. Why don't you try it? This platform, Fiverr, yada, yada." I get on there and it takes off. He's like, "Don't stop there. You've been doing executive presentations. Why don't you go ahead and do presentations, spokesperson videos?" Great. So fast forward to today, started that 4.5 years ago. And you're right, Matt. I did over, I think last count was over 6,000 productions. And it was a combination of voiceover and video. So
you just had to grind it out.
I don't want to use the word grind because, in gaming, grinding to me is almost a negative. We're going for better armor, better gear, and that sort of thing. And it gets old quick, right? I enjoyed it because I went from, my home into a studio that I've converted my entire garage into my studio. And it wasn't a grind. It was more of a joy. It's like, okay, what do we get to do today?
This is just like Gary Vaynerchuk says, you got to love the process. When you absolutely love the process, it's different than a grind, isn't it?
It's totally different because you enjoy it. You want to excel. And so I was able to hire a couple editors, several editors. I was able to hire on a virtual assistant. So as far as I was concerned, I was like, this is up and going, time to get up and make the donuts. But it wasn't a drudgery. It was more of a joy. The other, about a month or two ago, I did a TV commercial for AccuHear. So I'm on TV. I'm like, this is actually fun. So to call it a grind, I don't want it to seem like, oh, I dread getting up. It wasn't like that at all. It was like, all right, let's go.
And that passion and enthusiasm, I think, really is what resonates with your videos. I mean, it comes through so clearly. And just overall, I feel like, and this is just stepping back a little bit in terms of the internet, why I love internet culture, why I love the opportunities that it allows people like you to share your talents with us, with literally millions of people all over the world. Like, to me, the corporate experience that you had obviously built up your skills in presentation, in just communication, that allowed you to get here. But in some ways, it was wasted. It was wasted, at least from my perspective, because I didn't know who you were. And now you are bringing so much more joy to people than you ever could at scale, being like tucked away in some company.
I'm thinking through your statement, and again, I'm honored by that. That's a compliment, and thank you very much, Kevin. I guess, in business, if you can be effective in communicating, everybody has a story. Nonprofits, business for profit. It's a story, just like here in gaming. PewDiePie does a great job in telling a story. He communicates a story that just draws us all in. And it's like, wow, to some, he's hysterically funny. To others, they may not like his salty this or that, but give him his due. The guy just is a magnet, 70 million subs and climbing. So I'm just saying, for me, it's been effective in the business world to go ahead and try to communicate that story. But now you're right. I'm unshackled, the handcuffs are off, and now I can kind of communicate a brand new story that I'm still kind of learning this whole thing. I haven't got it figured out. I admit it. There's areas I'm a noob, and I'll tell you, I'm a noob in this area. I streamed the other day. I told everybody, here's my great, entry into streaming on Twitch. I'm a noob. That was it. I'm a noob. Go ahead and laugh because I'm laughing with you. This is funny.
I bring up that thought because we spoke with Destin Sandlin from Smarter Every Day a few weeks ago, and he really is coming at this from the opposite avenue that you are. So he gained popularity as a YouTuber and then got invited into corporate environments to do presentations, okay? And one thing that I thought was fascinating that he said was that that's really a business decision ultimately for him because the amount of people that he can touch in a conference room is, a couple hundred, maybe. I don't know, depending on the size of the event. Not even a couple dozen. Okay. Meanwhile, he could take that time to craft a video that, untold numbers of hundreds of thousands at the very least can be touched by, that he can connect with, which is what is the most important thing for him. And so that's why I thought it was interesting that you coming from the first arena and ending up in this one, what your perspective on that difference is.
It is a business decision. Absolutely. And gamers do these business decisions. I don't think a lot of them don't quite realize it. Do I focus my time here or here? Gee, I get a lot of fun over here and they really enjoy it. And it's a sweet spot space, but they may not get a lot of money, credit for that return of effort and time, but they're making business decisions whether they know it or not. So I'm coming into the game and I'm trying to make smart business decisions, as well as how do I establish these relationships? How do I get to know some of the community a little bit better? I was looking at my Discord account. I think I have somewhere around 2,000 friend requests.
Wow.
I can't see the water from down there. Okay. The air above. So, I'm not bragging. I'm not boasting. I'm just going, I'm overwhelmed. How do I, so I think these Q&As are a great way to kind of have the community get to know me. And I'm happy to jump in and get to know the community.
That authenticity, that's just everything here. Kevin was talking about how just how cool and natural it is that you're having fun with this, and it's so obvious that you're legitimately having a good time.
Well, look who I'm doing it with too. I'm doing it with my son.
So that helps a lot, then, huh?
Oh, huge. I love both my sons. I have two great sons. PJ, the one in the film, he's always had that desire to be Mr. Film Creator, Director. And at a very young age, I said, you want to be like Spielberg when you grow up. And he does and he doesn't, but he aspires to that kind of creativity. So imagine the joy he gets to be able to work with his dad and try some stuff. And let's do this and let's do that. And because I trust him and I love him, I'm willing to go into so my last video, I was uncomfortable, okay? I was uncomfortable doing the TikTok. I admit it. He's like, Dad, people are going to laugh. They're going to fall on the floor. I said, I'll try it. I trust you. Let's go.
Well, it must be invaluable for you to have him just to keep you connected with what's popular, what's going on, what people are paying attention to, because I mean, I fall behind on that. I can't even imagine what it would be like for you not being as plugged in initially to internet culture and trying to figure out what the heck something like TikTok is?
I was aware of it. I did know of it. I mean, PewDiePie even did something on it. I thought he nailed it too when he did. But, to do that and then to try to enter in to the next chapter of that's where I think, it takes some real creativity to do it in a way where everyone goes, oh, that's funny too. I'm not here to be a Me Too. I've never been that. I always used to tell my friends on Fiverr, stop being a Me Too, which is the person who looks around the landscape, the digital landscape on Fiverr and says, oh, I like what that person's doing. I'm going to do it. Me too. Wrong. You're not going to have success. So I look around the internet and I'll pick on PewDiePie. I really respect him. I'm not picking. I'm just saying I'll use him as an example. People look at him and go, man, I want to be like that too. Don't. Stop. PewDie is what he is, and that's it. He doesn't try to be anybody else other than himself, and there's the success. That's the principle. Be yourself. So I'm trying to look around the internet and go, what are people interested in? So now I'm asking in my videos, hey, tell me, Kevin, what do you like? What do you want to see? I want to see you do a dab. Great. What else?
So how did you figure this out is what I'm wondering. Is this just something that's always been part of you to this be yourself mentality? Because clearly that is 1000% accurate. I mean, Matt and I have been online working for a very long time, and we've been, tapped into and analyzing these trends over the years, and that's the thing that rises to the surface after all of these years is the authenticity angle and being yourself. But it seems like you arrived at this conclusion pretty quickly, or is it just like a natural thing for you? Were you a be yourself guy your whole life?
Early on in sales, again, to be really candid with you, I saw great salespeople working at some really great companies, and I'm sure that under some of the training I received, formal corporate training, as well as just one-on-one training, coaching, it was always a case of know your strengths as a salesperson, know your company's strengths, and then distinguish yourself from the competition. Well, I'm not looking at the internet, guys like PewDie. I am no way, shape, or form his competition. No way. Not even on my best day. Nor is he ever competition to me. It's not that case at all. You're going to tune to PewDie for different reasons than you would tune to me. And I'm fine with that. So it really is that way in life, Kevin. I agree. Authenticity, whether it's in the public life of a politician, a salesperson, on the internet presence, just be yourself, good, bad, and otherwise. And we're going to respect that more, even if we disagree.
And you have, I noticed that you have some, which obviously is smart, instituted some rules in terms of the stuff that you will say, because, let's face it, the trolls are going to go out of their way to push the envelope as far as possible and try to hire you to say the most egregious, offensive things imaginable. So
you've been reading my emails, yes. Yes, you're absolutely right. On Fiverr, it was great to be able to tell people, I am so sorry, Fiverr would basically, ban you from your house if I went ahead and said that. Another good example of, you're right, the trolls out there. Here you had that horrible gunman going to that synagogue just a few weeks ago. The very next day, somebody submitted to me a very clearly anti-Semitic script. And I couldn't believe the timing. So I had to write him. I'm like, dude, do you realize that Fiverr is headquartered in Tel Aviv, Israel? The Mossad is on their way to your house. You need to revise this instantly, or we're both going to be deleted from life.
Yeah. That's unbelievable.
So I agree with you. Let's have some standards. I want to take the high road. On the internet, let's face it, there's a lot of those who take the other roads to different levels. Fine. I want to be the guy who takes it to the wholesome road. Let's have good, fun together. That's it.
And there's plenty of wholesome work to be done. I mean, it's not like you're left with nothing here, right?
Right. Absolutely. Working with my son, you don't think I want to make sure the content is, you know, I'll call it family rated, whatever that is to people. I want it to be family rated. There's enough of the other out there that I don't have to be one of those guys too.
So what are your ambitions? You know, this thing is just growing so quickly. I saw a video that you put out talking about how excited you were that you crossed 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, and then I looked down and it was over 500,000 subscribers on YouTube. I'm like, dude, this guy just increased his subs 5 times in a few days.
It is overwhelming a bit. Okay, more than a bit. It really is overwhelming, and I'm so excited. My son and I were in a meeting this morning talking about, man, we got to get the word out there to just say thank you to everybody. You know, I thought it was a huge goal to say to myself, I'd love to see 1 million subs. I'd love to get to that point and have that kind of community really rally around that kind of content that my son and I are working on and hope to continue to really produce. So to be here in a week at 500,000, I'm just so thankful, so grateful. I'm like, why are you guys really watching me?
But are you looking into, you know, the possibility of doing voice work in video games or like anime? Like you got to be in an anime, dude.
Kevin, I swear you got a camera around here. You're reading my messages. So yes, I would love the call from Bethesda, how about EA? I would love the call from, you know, you're right, a gaming company to say, Pete, we got a spot for you, blah, blah, blah. Let's do it. I'd be like, I'm there. I'll do it for free. Let's go. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see why you're not in Fortnite yet. Like you have to, there's got to be like a Voiceover Pete dance or something that the Fortnite guys could stick in there.
Yes, my son laughed. He goes, Dad, we've got to get you a GIF with your suit and tie on and your shorts, and then your little character running around Fortnite with that outfit on.
Yes, we do.
There's a skin that would sell, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, yes, that would be fun, Kevin. Totally doing a voiceover for some character in some game. Totally. Otherwise, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. I'll do my live Twitch streams 3 times a week. We're going to kick out the content. We're hoping to do it 5 times a week. I've got some Q&As with my Discord community, Patreon community. So yeah, that's the road I'm going to start down. Let's review in a year.
Well, yeah, let's literally review in a year. I'll set my calendar and we'll have you back. And, you'll be You'll have your diamond play button when you have past 10 million subscribers. Maybe Matt and I will fly down to Florida and we'll do a collab or something.
Well, if we really do get to such heights, then I'll fly you down on the Voiceover Pete jet so we can embark on a 1-week cruise to the Caribbean. All right? Let's do this right if we're going to do it.
That sounds perfect.
I like this. Challenge accepted, even though it all depends on you. Yeah, you just issued yourself the challenge here, didn't you?
Oh, perfectly epic.
Well, look, thanks, Pete, for joining us. I know that you're a busy guy. This really meant the world to me that you were able to carve out this slice of time in your busy schedule. And just keep doing what you're doing, and we'll keep laughing, smiling, and loving every second of it.
Well, I'll tell you, one thing that's really surprised me that I didn't expect, and I'll close with this. There have been certain guys who have not given me a handout, but they've stuck their hand out in friendship. Grand Day, he's part of what I call my perfect storm. He's the guy who did that first tweet. I mean, he didn't know me. He didn't owe me anything. And he's reached out now as friendship, and he's really trying to just help see me along in taking that next step. Cypher stepped in, and he actually reached out to me before I did to him and just saying, Pete, if I can help you in any way, let me know. I mean, who am I to Cypher? I'm nobody. Ninja was gracious enough, again, even with the press I got initially. Why would he, respond and say, yeah, sure, I'll do it if you do this? A great guy. He didn't have to. PewDiePie twice in one. So I'm just really so surprised, so grateful to have some of these pillars of the internet community step forward and say, hey, I'll shake your hand and help you in any way that I can. You two coming forward. Thank you both. I'm going to plug your show to all of my friends and my community as well.
Great, thank you. It's awesome. And just the combination of things that you addressed here with the general life lessons, the general approach to succeeding in any arena, really. We're just talking about a thin slice of the internet here, but it's totally applicable to just about everything ever. And that's really amazing to get that kind of perspective.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Kevin. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks, Pete. You're the man. Huge thanks to Voiceover Pete for joining us on this bonus episode of The Create Unknown. We'll be back next week with a full episode, but let us know if you liked having this shorter bonus episode dropped into your lovely, darling lap. We've been your hosts, Kevin Lieber and Matt Tabor. Check us out over on YouTube at Vsauce2. If you like what you heard, please tell a friend, share with everyone and anyone. Friends aren't the only people you should share with. Share with your bitter rivals, someone that you just don't like at all, and you're estranged. How about an estranged family member? You could bond over this episode of The Create Unknown with Voiceover Pete and reconnect with your grandma that you had a horrible fight with years ago over something that, it's just time heals all wounds. I'm just supposed to be doing the credits. I don't know what's going on right now. Executive producer is Dave Kiney. Our theme song is from the incredible Mega Drive, so check out Mega Drive's website in the show notes. And like I said earlier, we'll be back next week with a brand new episode. Until then, you are about to exit
Unknown. And as always, thanks for listening.